Welcome to the main stage of the Union County Performing Arts Center. Please make note of the nearest fire exits in the event of an emergency. Kindly take a moment to silence all cell phones or electronic devices. Congratulations, graduates.
Good evening. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Good evening. You may all be seated. Good evening. Good evening. My name is F.A. Oluwa Awoliye. And I am your senior class president of the year 2017-2018. I would like to formally welcome you all to the 2018 Abraham Clark High School commencement ceremony. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge, welcome, and thank the Mayor of Roselle, Christine Dansbury, Superintendent, Dr. Vicki Porter, Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Shakira Harrington, our entire Board of Education, Abraham Clark Administration, Principal Rashawn Mickens, Vice Principal Sheila Williams, and Victoria Lee. Faculty, family, and staff. If I missed anyone, please forgive me. And there it is. The council people, thank you for coming. Okay. Class of 2018, make some noise. Unfortunately, it has been decided that despite the wonderful and self-empowering speeches that are to come from our salutatorian and valedictorian, I will be the first to give a speech. So, I will start by reciting a quote by actor and comedian Chadwick Boseman, who most of you know as Black Panther. And it goes, "If you're willing to take the hard way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, then you will not regret it." I remember the first day I walked into Abraham Clark High School. I exited my mother's car hanging onto the shreds of advice given to us from previous teachers. We've all heard it before. When you get to high school, the teachers won't hold your hand. So yeah, I wasn't all too thrilled about coming to Abraham Clark. And upon entering the classroom of the biggest and most affordable teacher in the school, I felt overwhelmed and small. And despite the familiarly friendly faces I met in the school, the immense amount of fear I already felt instantly tripled. I walked into the particular class, and guess what happened? The teacher started bouncing and singing. To try and lighten the mood of the class, however, that only heightened my fear that this is what I was going to have to deal with for the rest of the school year. And I was also afraid that the rest of the teachers might be the same way. I was very apprehensive. As the years continued to pass, the reality of high school started to dawn on me. It wasn't this enormous fabricated monster waiting to swallow us up in homework, a crippling social status, or inevitable losses. It was the tutorial level to a game that we have yet to start, or in layman's term, a precursor for life. Contrary to what video games infer, however, there is no set path needed to make it through the twists and turmoils of high school. And there is not just one way of doing things. You know how when you're supposed to unscrew something and it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey? I promise you, if you get a hammer and bang it hard enough, it'll open. In class of 2018, I want to let you know that we have opened it. And now, it is time to take what we have found inside and utilize it to the best of our abilities in order to surmount our next challenge. But before embarking on our journey, let's take a small trip down memory lane. We all remember the annual visits from DJ Lil Man. And we can't forget the football team becoming conference champs. The amazing talent shows hosted at our school. And although I may be a little bit biased, prom, where the class of 2018 made the best appearance. I can't forget getting off the NJDOE list. Thank you to all ACHS teachers. One accomplishment I can't skip, getting permission to wear hoodies. My favorite memory, the dance battles that we all engaged in as a class during lunch. The zombie apocalypse. Thank you. and the walkout with special performance by Big Goose. All great memories. We all went through many trials and tribulations within these last 4 years, and we had teachers and mentors to help guide us through them. As much as we hate to admit it, we can't deny the fact that our being here today could not have been possible without the aids of faculty and staff. I would like to distinctly thank Ms. Santangelo and Mr. Davis, who have been by my side since freshman year and have instilled inside of me a passion for the arts. Thank you to Mr. Vasquez, Mr. Vasquez, Ms. Tracy Williams, and Mrs. Swan, who have both provided me with words of wisdom in times of distress and managed to make my time here much more entertaining. And I cannot forget Mr. Naeem, Ms. Coleman, and Ms. Hartsfield. All three of them have helped me reach my potential as a leader. Senior year snuck up on us in the midst of our constant journey to be seniors at Abraham Clark High School. And once it arrived, it swiftly disappeared. In the last 4 years, it has become evident that we have all grown and matured individually, but more importantly, as a class. The ability to grow collectively does not end along with the school year. As we move on to the next segment of our lives, we hold on to the moments in which our future never developed, from the reverb of laughter in the hallways, the constant cheering and chanting in response to Mr. Mickens' enthusiastic celebratory chants throughout the school years that imprinted in our minds. Class of 2018, are you ready? No. Class of 2018, are you ready? One time. When I say rim, you say rim. Rim. Let's go. Now, I would like to welcome to the podium Ms. Patricia Fabrizio.
Hello, my name is Patricia Fabrizio. I'm the president of the Board of Education in Roselle, and I'm also a former graduate of Abraham Clark High School. This month, I'm celebrating 30 years since graduating from Abraham Clark. So it brings me even greater pleasure to read the following proclamation recognizing the achievements of Abraham Clark High School from the Borough Council of the Roselle Borough. Whereas the New Jersey Department of Education has recognized Abraham Clark High School as one of the most improved schools in Union County and the state of New Jersey. And whereas it has been noted that the contributions, hard work, and commitment of the educators, staff, and this class of 2018 are commendable, and whereas the tireless efforts of this class to succeed have set the future path for others to follow in their footsteps, and whereas these accomplishments should not go unrecognized, as they have made a resounding positive impact on the social and academic fabric of our community. They have brought great honor to themselves, the school, and the borough. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Roselle do hereby honor and recognize the Abraham Clark High School staff, administrative, and graduating class of 2018 on their monumental achievement and wish them much success in the future. I would also like to congratulate you with the remainder of the board members who are here this evening and wish you all the best of luck in your futures.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fabrizio. And next, we will have congratulatory remarks from our superintendent, Dr. Corbin.
Ladies and gentlemen, is a unique day. It stands out. In fact, it only happens once a year. Reasons, first of all, the class of 2018 is graduating. That makes it stand out. But there's another reason why this day stands out. And I would say, can you tell me? Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Today is the summer solstice. Now, what a great day it is to have graduation, because today is the lightest day of the year, the brightest day of the year. So it really fits very well. It fits very well with what we're doing, because before me, I believe, is the brightest in New Jersey, right here before me. The brightest day of the year, the brightest students graduating. So the day just doesn't fit in. It doesn't fit in with yesterday, it's not going to fit in with tomorrow. Today stands out. I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that today, the day you graduated, stood out. And I'll tell you something else I want you to remember. You're supposed to stand out too. It's not good enough just to fit in. And today, I think we hear too often that so many of our young people are just trying to fit in. No. You were created to stand out, to be winners. You know, here's the facts of life. You want the facts of life? I'll give you the facts of life. The facts of life is that in life, there are some winners and there are losers in life. There are. But in Abraham Clark High School, you spent 4 years. We're not creating losers. We're creating winners. We are creating winners. And I'll tell you something else. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a good loser. No such thing. Stand out, be in it to win it, be a great winner. Because that's what you're made for. Created in the image and likeness of God to do unique things, to be a winner in life. Yeah, and I'll say it. I'm going to use the G word. Whoa. I'm going to use the God word. What are they going to do, fire me? In the image and likeness of God to be unique. That's what we're in it for. So, my friends, finally let me say this. You're going to do something unique. You know, it's easy. Water takes the path of least resistance. It's really very easy to do good to those who do good to you. It's really very easy to love those who love you. It's really very easy to desire that which you have a desire for, right? But I want you to look next to you, look around you, and see the brother or sister who maybe nobody likes. You know, see that person that's been shunned and put aside, right? And do something unique, do something courageous, do something victorious, stand out, put your arm around the person that's been rejected. You're in it to win it. God bless everybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. Corbett. Before we have our valedictorian come and speak to us, Ms. Wimbush would like to come up and say a few words.
All right now. Good evening to the parents, to the staff, to the students, to the administrators, to the mayor, to the council people, and to everyone that I did not mention, good evening. Good evening to the class of 2018. As a Roselle Board of Education member, I just wanted to say quickly, I've been to all graduations this year. And this is my 10th graduation. And I just wanted to reflect really quickly. I started at Shim's Academy this week, and I started shaking hands of the smallest little hands in the district. Then I went to all 3 of the elementary schools, Polk, Harrison, and Washington. And the hands just got a little bit bigger. Then I went to L.B. Moore's graduation, and the hands got yet bigger. Then Grace Will Days, and they got bigger. Well, today, these are the biggest hands that we are going to shake today, and I want y'all to look proudly. I want you to shake our hands firmly. I don't think you understand the landmark that you are making. I just want to do one little thing before I take a seat in the back. I want all of my graduates to stand up for a minute and turn around and face the camera. Graduates, we are absolutely proud of you, and congratulations, we salute you. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Thank you very much, Ms. English. And now, our very own Ms. Aika Baptiste.
Vice Principals William and Lee, staff, parents, students, and council members. Although our educational journey seems to have come to an end rather expeditiously, in reality, our adventure is far from over. Each day has been one of joy, sadness, stress, sweat, tears, and ultimately results that came in the form of college acceptance letters, scholarships, enlistments, and job offers. Chadwick Boseman, a renowned actor and activist, recently asked a group of students at Howard University, "What do you do when the principles and standards that were instilled in you here have closed doors in front of you?" To which his answer was, "Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is." The simplicity of both that question and its answer is wrapped in the basic understanding of one's purpose in life, which, as aforementioned, is instrumental in shaping one's identity. Every student here is in some way a statistic. To be a statistic is not necessarily a bad thing, but as with everything, there are negatives and positives. Although which sector of demographics we fall into is uncontrollable, we want to climb the ladder of positives rather than tumble down the staircase of negatives. We want to be one of the 67% of African American men and 71% of African American women in the labor workforce, the 38% of Syrian immigrants in possession of a college degree, the 31.3% of Hispanic women who graduate from college, and the 76.9% Hispanic men currently employed, along with the 36% of children of immigrant parents in possession of a college degree. There are so many things which influence us in life, but ultimately, we are the ones who must make the right choices. These factors that are concluding this chapter in our lives are also the keys to unlocking the upcoming chapters. Chapters rooted in difficulty, adversity, choices, uncertainty, memories, and life-changing possibilities that we are not yet aware of. As you turn the page and enter this chapter in your life, it behooves you to remember that you are the writer of your own autobiography. You are the protagonist. In other words, you are the driver behind the wheel of a car in which anything may happen. That car will travel over many turbulent roads and highways, but in the end, it will be your character, your principles, and your identity that steer you down the right path. As you traverse through the daily happenings of your life, know and understand that you are part of an enormous wave that is slowly changing preset ideals in the world, beginning here in our nation. You are one of the many who make up our generation, the generation of change. We have catapulted into an age where injustices and wrongs are able to be brought to light to every big able-bodied person through the use of technology and mass media. Now more than ever, the First Amendment has become the shield to police brutality, sexism, discrimination, hate crimes, the indefinite detention of helpless children, the corruption of the courts, nepotism, and the formation of an oligarchy. While I certainly understand being discouraged from seeing African Americans, especially our males, being shot down at gunpoint by those entrusted with our safety, immigrant families being split apart by immigration services, Syrian refugees being turned away and mistreated, that discouragement and frustration should be used to fuel your future plans and aid you in accomplishing your goals, besting any preset beliefs about you or lack thereof, because we are great, we are capable, and most of all, we will bring about change. To all those of color who sit before me, both young men and women alike, information is at your disposal and readily available, so be aware, get involved, know your rights, and uplift one another. Because when one person's right is stripped from them, all of our rights are stripped from us. Now that we have covered the formalities and pleasantries, Class of 2018, let us review how full this year has been as high school seniors. I am both honored and humbled to stand before you today as valedictorian of the senior class of 2018. I have worked diligently to get to this position, but I am also aware that others have as well. And I am but a representative of all of us who have achieved so much during our high school years. I would like to thank my peers for making this experience so enriching and fun, and the staff who have worked so hard to help us achieve our academic dreams. In particular, I wish to thank Mr. Naeem and Mrs. Coleman for pushing me beyond the subpar limits I set for myself, and taking the time to humble me this year, because it was very much needed. I would like to thank my coaches, Coach Carla, Coach Daniels, and Coach Shari, for instilling in me the lesson that hard work is the key to reaching the most unimaginable heights in life. I would also like to thank Mr. Salam, Mr. Garrett, and Mr. Mitchell for being as real gets and grounding me when I felt as though the whole world was crashing down from the stress around me. You taught many of us in your classes the reality of the world without the sugarcoating that most adults include. It was important for many of us to remove the rose-colored glasses. Finally, as I look around and take a moment to commit this occasion to memory and absorb the impact of the realization that we are about to embark on the next segment of our lives, leaving our childhood behind, I cannot help but think that our laughter will echo in the classrooms, our chatter will echo through the halls of the school, and our laughter will echo throughout the town, if only in our memories, solidifying that we have already left a footprint. So this is not the ending of something, but in fact the continuation of the impact each of us is leaving on the world. So get behind the wheel and steer in the right direction you want to travel, and every once in a while, look back in the rearview mirror to remember what is behind you, but focus on the road ahead. I wish you much success in your future careers and your commitment to change. Now go transform the world.
I don't know about you all, but I do plan on transforming the world. Next, we will have a salutatorian. Harrison Sordo.
Mayor Danceru, elect Board of Officials, Board of Education members, Superintendent Dr. Kerbet, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Harrington, Principal Meekins, teachers, parents, and most importantly, Abraham Crown High School, Class of 2018. It is a great honor for me to stand before you today. I am sincerely grateful for this opportunity to be the salutatorian of the senior class. Today is our last day as students of Abraham Clark High School, and we should never forget that our journey has just begun. Life is about dedication and effort, and that is what leads us to excellence. The potential that we can gain through overcoming obstacles will define the strength that lives within us for the rest of our lives. My personal strength comes from the struggles of coming to a new country and learning a different language. That being said, I would never have been able to achieve my goals if it were not for the support of my family. For this, I will be eternally grateful. I would like also to thank, honor, and recognize all of the teachers who have had a positive influence on me, especially those who have helped me achieve my potential as a student. They have always pushed me to aim higher and reach further to reach my aptitude. During my freshman and sophomore years, I was that kid who was working tirelessly to get good grades. Then, in my junior year, I was selected for the National Honor Society, and I joined the Junior RTC program, where I became a better person, both socially and academically. Finally, in my senior year, I became the president of the Student Council, president of the Sigma Beta Club, and I was promoted to a leadership position in the Junior RTC program. Our school, Abraham Clark High School, has always provided its students with a healthy and competitive environment to help us grow in every part of our lives, whether it be academics, sports, or any other extracurricular role. During this time, I have received 35 certificates, 6 medals, and 4 plaques in recognition of academic Not bad for someone who has only been in this country for 4 years. To those of you who have received similar honors, awards, and distinctions, I would like to salute you. No matter where we go or what we do, there are hurdles ahead of us. What I'm asking from each of you is to approach those challenges straight on, with your head held high and your heart wide open. It is not enough to simply try to get by in life. If you want to move the world forward, you must excel in everything you do and strive for excellence in every task or more. Although it may not be easy to see, but every accomplishment you achieve improves our society. Your individual success benefits the world as a whole, because when you succeed, you lighten the burden on your fellow men. When you succeed, you are in a position to give rather than take. When you are successful and you give back, the world is a better place. Each encounter and experience gained here at ACHS has been enriching and will forever remain with me. In today's world, everything is changing, day by day. We don't notice it, but everything changes. The people who you thought that were going to be there forever are not. And the people who you never imagined you had been speaking to are now some of your closest friends. Life makes little sense, and the more we grow, the less sense it will make. So make the most of your life now, before it all changes again. because in the near future, all of this is only going to be memories. Learn to enjoy every minute of your life. Be happy now. Don't wait for something outside of yourself to make you happy in the future. Consider how really precious time is, whether it's at work or with your family. I could stand up here and talk about the amazing teachers, unforgettable memories, and enduring friendships that have shaped our high school experience. Or I could talk about all of the skills we have mastered as a class, whether it be academically, artistically, or socially. During that process, we felt like it will never end, but now everything seems to have happened in the blink of an eye. Remember, no matter where you are in the future, be yourself and don't wait for your dreams to come to you. Work to achieve your dreams. I would like to conclude with this quote by author Titi Kubo. We are all like fireworks. We climb, shine, and always go our separate ways and move further apart. But even if that time comes, let's not disappear like fireworks do and continue to shine forever. Congratulations, class 2018. Thank you.
Like I said, empowering. Next, we will have our keynote speaker, Acting Commissioner of Education. Actually, no. Mayor Danzery.
And before she comes to the microphone, I would like to say this. The acting commissioner, well, he's not now the acting, he's actually the commissioner of education, Dr. Repollet, couldn't be with us here this evening. However, when I got the call on Tuesday, of course I was very disappointed that he couldn't be here. He had a scheduling conflict. So I said to myself, I have to call up the mayor. I have to call her up. She was supposed to come and deliver a word of congratulations to you all, a brief message, but I said, I'm going to put her on the spot here. Let's see if she'll want to come and deliver the keynote. I was sweating like bullets, asking her if she would come and deliver the keynote, and I was hoping that she wouldn't say no. She didn't say no. She accepted the offer. She's here today to bring a great message to you as our keynote speaker. And that said, I'm going to bring forward none other than our mayor, Mayor Danzery. Thank you so much, Mayor Danzery.
So what a tough act to follow. And I promise you all out there, because believe it or not, a long time ago I was sitting in your seat, this is going to be a short keynote speech. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before this remarkable graduating class of 2018 RAM-ready Abraham Clark High School students today and to share some thoughts with you. Let me start by saying you will probably not remember any of this conversation and words of advice that I share with you today, and that's okay. What you won't forget is the way you feel right now, every time you reflect back on your graduation experience. You are exactly where you should be, experiencing exactly what you're meant to experience, and you're not alone. You're not alone because your families, friends, teachers, and everyone supporting you here are also experiencing a myriad of overwhelming emotions at this moment in time, which brings me to the first piece of advice. And that is, plan for tomorrow, but live in the moment. this day, this very special day is one of those moments. Feel everything and embrace your joy and your accomplishments. Having been where you've been, albeit a very, very, very long time ago, and I don't want to hear any comments from everybody out there, I can still, thank you, I can still feel all those feelings when I think back to my graduation. The excitement, the relief, the awe that I was actually here, the call of my name, the walk across the stage, the handshake, the congratulations, the coveted high school diploma in my hand, the love all around, the pride, the uncertainty, the confidence, the tears of joy, the tears of goodbye, and the gratitude, and the family and friends who came to support. I can call on those beautiful memories whenever I want to, and know that they will always be incredibly special. Live every minute of this day, because these memories will be yours to keep forever. So moving on to my second piece of advice in this conversation, which is actually in the form of a question, and it goes like this. Who tells you who you are? The answer should be, I do. So I'm going to ask you, graduating class of 2018, this question, and since it's a conversation, I would like you to tell me as loud as you can, who tells you who you are? Who? I ask you this question because we live in a world where there are those who will try to put you in a box and try to define you in many ways, all of which can be limiting, undermining, and controlling. Don't allow it. We are classified by gender, age, race, culture, religious beliefs, sexual preference, income, credit or lack thereof, and many, many other things, label after label, trying to direct your path in life, your choices, your self-perception, and perception of others in the world that we live in. You can transcend the noise all around you and filter out the media chatter and the naysayers to decide your own paths, your choices, your perceptions in life, and where you want them to lead you. Which brings me to the last piece of advice, and I hope you will choose to remember, if nothing else, this one. You ready? No stinking thinking. What? All right, I'll say it again. No stinking thinking. I'm going to tell you, that was a quote from my mom. She's passed on, and I'm passing it on to you, the class of 2018. She wasn't famous, but she had a very interesting way of giving me some important advice at times, and she told me this. It is so easy to stand in your own way. You will have enough obstacles to get around in life. Don't become your own obstacle. Don't tell yourselves the things that prevent you from obtaining your goals. Don't become paralyzed with negative, self-fulfilling prophecies because of fear and uncertainty. Don't be afraid to embrace failure. Her words continue to help me to this day because they just make good common sense. That is her definition of no stinking thinking. When Thomas Edison made Roselle, the first village of light, it was not his first try. Imagine if instead of embracing his failures and trying again and again, for all we know, we might still be in darkness today. You are who you are supposed to be, a beautiful miracle of life. Never doubt this for 1 minute. Don't let anyone tell you who you are and where you're going. Define yourself, choose your own path. Remember, there are no permanent failures, just times where you have to reassess your path, your direction, your strategy, your goals, your objectives, and to move forward. Having said this, stay open to good advice from people who care about and love you and want nothing but your happiness, whatever that happiness is for you. So as I close, I want to remind you once more, live this moment to its fullest. There will be many more. Continue to do the same. You earned it, you deserve it, and we are all proud of you. God bless you. Class of 2018, I hope.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mayor. And now we will have closing remarks from our very own principal, Michelle Miggins.
I hear you out there, Ram Ready. I hear you. Class of 2018, make some noise for this place. We can hear your hotel. Make some noise, I said. Parents, family, make some noise. They deserve it. Let's bring it home. Good evening, all, and welcome Mayor D'Angelo, elected borough officials, Assemblyman Holly, Board of Education President, Ms. Patricia Farizio, elected board members, Superintendent of School, Dr. Richard Corbett, Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Shakiri Harrington, special invited guests that are here with us today from Abraham Clark High School's class of 1948. They're over there. Raise your hands. They're here with us. They're my special invited guests. Let's stand on our feet, graduates, and give them a round of applause. Let's stand to our feet. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. Today marks their 70th year high school graduation anniversary. 70 years ago today, June 21st, they graduated from Abraham Clark High School. And the names are as follows that are here with us as our guests. Dr. Ivor Peterson, Mr. Francis Cummings, Mr. Rudolph Sandlin, Mr. George Williams, Ms. Dorothy Maynard, Mrs. Barbara Smith Grundy, Mrs. Maurice Mosley Cummings, Mrs. Sarah Clark Jenkins, Mrs. Lois Hayes Worthy, Mrs. Marion Briggs Williams, and Mrs. Merlin Stark Bragg. Give them another round of applause for being with us today, celebrating 70 years as their high school graduation anniversary. I also want to acknowledge my fellow colleagues. A special shout out goes to our senior class advisors, Mr. Jesse Alexander, Mr. Jesse and Mr. Christopher Satterfield. Seniors, I think they deserve a standing ovation for the job they did with you all this year. They did an excellent job as your senior class advisors. want to acknowledge our parents and families. And last, but certainly not least, the most brilliant, bold, extraordinary, magnificent, impressive, amazing, dynamic, courageous, selfless, genuine, superb, intelligent, admirable, gifted, and talented scholars on earth, the graduating class of 2018. In just a few minutes, the class of 2018 will receive their diplomas. After their graduation from high school, the diplomas received represent years of hard work, commitment, dedication, and achievement each scholar has made at Abraham Clark High School. Today marks a new beginning in the lives of these young adults. Words cannot express the pride I feel for each of these graduates who have made this journey together. We must keep in mind that these scholars did not get to this point alone. It took a complete team effort. And our way of acknowledging those special people that played a vital role in helping you scholars get here today, I ask that you stand to your feet, scholars. Stand to your feet. Turn to your parents, your families, coaches, and teachers, and applaud them for their support throughout the year. Filled with trials, tribulations, and most importantly, successes. One of my favorite quotes comes from Ralph Emerson and it reads, "Do not follow where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Ladies and gentlemen, sitting before me this evening are the next trailblazers, the future leaders of tomorrow. They say time flies, especially when you enjoy the company you keep. Watching each of you grow and mature over these years as young men and women has been very rewarding. You decided years ago to make a commitment to your success in education, and the end result is that you're graduating right now, this evening, at the Union County Performing Arts Center in Rahway, New Jersey, among your biggest supporters. We all share this magical moment. This class, the graduating class of 2018, will forever go down in history as the class that succeeded when it mattered most. Most of us here can testify to their incredible accomplishments, their passionate performances, and their countless academic successes. I will highlight some of the accomplishments made. Who can forget the memorable season that our bowling team had? Led by senior captains Brandon Patterson. Stand up, Ross, stand up. They finished their regular season with the best record in school history. And first ever Union County Championship. Congratulations, gentlemen. And right here to my left, I have some hardware to prove it. Give it up one more time for the county champions. Congratulations to both teams. And of course, I have some hardware to prove it. Congratulations once again, conference champs, our girls and boys track team. Give them another round of applause. your classmate and fellow graduate, Christasia Pankey. Where are you, Christasia? Stand up. Stand up, Christasia. Christasia came to Abraham Clark High School 2 years ago, not knowing in which direction she should go. Her mindset was, school isn't for me. She said to me, Mr. Mickens, I just want to drop out of school and pursue my GED. As you know I do. The Ram-ready wife. I looked her right in her eyes and said, you will not drop out of school on my watch. You will be a graduate of Abraham Clark High School. Well, Christasia, with the support of your family and teachers, in just a few short minutes, what once seemed impossible will now become possible for you. Then there's Lauren Banks. Stand up, Lauren. Lauren beat the odds when the naysayers said she couldn't. She was told that it may be difficult to be accepted into the United States Coast Guard Academy. Well, I'm here to tell you, those naysayers got it wrong. They got it all wrong. Lauren continued to chase her dreams, pursuing the United States Coast Guard Academy. And on a cold, wintry night, on March 5th, she received the phone call she was waiting for. She had been accepted to the United States Coast Guard Academy. But that's not all. Not only was she accepted, all right, there she is. Not only was she accepted, but she received a full scholarship. You're going to like this number, worth over $400,000. One of the finest and most prestigious academic institutions in the country. Congratulations, Lauren. Further highlighting some individual accomplishments of this scholarly class is our very own Naika Baptiste. Valedictorian, who has made the honor roll every grading quarter since elementary school. She will be attending Rutgers University on a full scholarship in the fall. Congratulations, Naika. Lastly, our very own salutatorian, Percy Sorto. Migrating to America from El Salvador only 4 years ago. From the time he stepped foot onto American soil, he was determined to be successful. Highlighting a few of his accomplishments are, he's ranked the #2 student in his graduating class, member and second-year letter earner for Abraham Clark High School soccer team. He is the Abraham Clark High School Scholar Male Athlete of the Year. He's the president of the Sigma Beta Club, president of Student Council, Student Government Association Vice President, First Commanding Officer of the JRTC, member of the National Honor Society, Senior Scholar and Principal Honor Award recipient, and to top it all off, he will be attending New Jersey City University in the fall on a full academic scholarship. Congratulations, Hersey. This furthers my claim that we have some of the most intelligent and talented scholars that this country, state, and world can offer. I am extremely proud of each and every one of them. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this class made history, as 94% of these seniors have fulfilled their graduation requirements, and all 94% will either attend a 2- or 4-year Institute of Higher Learning, graduate military, and/or enter the workforce. Give that a round of applause. It's a great feat to accomplish. Moreover, these seniors have been recognized by the New Jersey Department of Education as one of the most successful graduating classes in our county and state. And of course, I have something to prove it. He sends his gratitude, and of course he sends gifts as well. It states here, the New Jersey Department of Education sincerely congratulates Abraham Clark High School and Roselle School District for school improvement accomplishments from 2012 to 2018. Congratulations to you all. From their freshman year, we have seen tremendous growth in their academic performance. Once considered a school in needs of improvement by the New Jersey Department of Education, we can now remove that title and its association with Abraham Clark High School. That's no longer needed. As confirmed in a letter I received from the Commissioner of Education and the New Jersey Department of Education on March 29th, our school community received confirmation that our hard work had finally paid off, as we were officially removed from the state's watch list of priority schools or schools in need of improvement. It's official. This class, the graduating class of 2018, it was because of your efforts that we can now claim the title as one of the most improved schools for student achievement in the state of New Jersey. You can give that a round of applause, absolutely. I can go on and on about the achievements of this class, but we will be here all night long. Although we classify achievers, this class is so much more than that. In an era when it seems to be commonplace for young people to focus on their individual needs and wants, this class chose not to leave anyone behind. Their cohesiveness, camaraderie, and respect for one another will forever be remembered. Just think, a few short years ago, I was telling you to work hard and prepare yourselves for today. This is a turning point in your lives. Today is the culmination of coming together, working diligently, and ensuring that you have earned the title of high school graduates. As I begin to close, I leave with you a quote from a very inspiring woman, Maya Angelou, and it reads, "You may encounter many defeats along the way, but you must not be defeated so that you know who you truly are, what you can rise from, and how you can come out of it." Maya Angelou. Graduates, as you prepare to receive your diploma, please take a moment to reflect upon the journey you have taken. Consider the sacrifices that have been made by your families, the support you have been given by your teachers and coaches. Be thankful for the friendships you have made, the life lessons you have learned, and the experiences that have contributed to your legacy. Remember to set your goals higher and strive to accomplish the best for you and not others. As we close the chapter of this book and say goodbye, I will enthusiastically pass this torch, knowing that you are leaving here. I said, knowing that you are leaving here. Prepared for college, work, and life. Ready to contribute immensely to the world that awaits you. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure to serve as your principal. Get a little emotional up here. And I know they don't get this way. May your years ahead bring you much success and happiness. Congratulations to the class of 2018. I will now call upon Ms. Sheila Williams. Ms. Sheila Williams. Again, I'm going to call up here, she's right behind me, Ms. Sheila Williams, and she will read the roll call of graduates. Congratulations.
As our stage prepares to receive you all, I'd like to say congratulations to the class of 2018. You will now join me as an Abraham Clark High School graduate. And at this time, and Shaheen Correa. All right, let's hear it for ours that are salutatorian, Hersey Sosa. Our valedictorian, Naika. Thank you, graduates, and congratulations. I think we have one more little special presentation.
Listen up. 2 years ago, I was sitting in my office, myself, F.A., and Chef Josh. We said before our pep rally, we need to come up with a song, a fight song, that represents Abraham and Roselle. So I'm going to ask F.A. to come up and lead us in our fight song, and also Adam as well. And our school fight song. Take it away, fellas.
I know traditionally we do it with you know, just a cappella, but please indulge us one last time.
We are ready.
been waiting for. I, Rashawn L. Mickens, principal at Abraham Clark High School, hereby acknowledge the Board of Education President, Ms. Patricia Fabrizio, and Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Richard Corbett, that these scholars have met all the necessary high school graduation requirements. By the Roselle Board of Education and the New Jersey Department of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduating class of 2018. We're going to ask for the last row, one row at a time, to begin proceeding now to the lobby. So we start from the last row and work our way down to the front. Last row first. Congratulations, families, and congratulations, scholars. So proud of each and every